Well, we've got another incredibly broken mechanic in Elden Ring, and this one's definitely going to be patched sooner than later because it's definitely not working as intended. So take advantage of it now to kill some of these bosses that may have been frustrating you before it gets patched, because this is incredibly powerful and you can plow through bosses that have been giving you trouble with little effort. One thing that's great about it is you can hide under cover and activate it and then jump in front of the boss and then just have it sling these magical swords of death at it. Now, one of the reasons this has gotten pretty powerful is because of the 1.03 buff to shields. So we are going to be using a shield specifically for intelligence, which is the Carrion Knight's magic shield, because we want that additional int scaling since we're going to be using magic for this. Now, we do have int scaling of C right now, but if you look at my stats, I'm not like terribly into intelligence. It is at 48, which is pretty high, but my stats are kind of all over the place. I'm not really specializing in anything in particular, but the damage is already really good. And you can get this shield pretty early in the game when you're in Lurinia. As you're heading up to the Raya Lucaria Grand Library, you're going to encounter this, like, it's not necessarily a mini boss. It's, I forget exactly what it is, but there's a guy that you're going to kill before you go up to the lift. And this guy is going to drop this shield for you. We're also going to be using an Ash of War called the Carrion Retaliation. I'll be showing exactly how to get that here in a second, but essentially what we're doing is we're using these glintstone scraps. Then we're activating the Carrion Retaliation, which spawns these swords around us. Now, this might be an intended effect, but the damage scaling for this is probably not intended. And if you've been doing PvP and dying to invisible things, it's probably this ability, because these swords are freaking invisible in PvP, which is absolutely not intended. So I really do hope this gets patched, but while it's not patched, you might as well take advantage of it for PvE. I really don't recommend doing this in PvP because it's just kind of a douche move. But if you are struggling with a certain boss and you just don't want to deal with it anymore, you can definitely use this to help you out quite a bit. Also, if you haven't watched the video on getting the Black Knife Tiche, I highly recommend watching that because it'll help you with a lot of bosses as well. Now, I do want to do a test to see if we can get this damage to increase even more, which I'm pretty sure we can. So right now on this bird, we're going to be able to do, let's see here, 5,898 damage, also known as a lot. Of course, now this giant's probably going to be pissed off at us, but if we use Golden Vow, we should be able to increase our damage even more. If we don't one-shot this guy, I'll be kind of surprised. Okay, 5,338, so not so bad. But it is just a ton of damage. You're not going to be one-shotting bosses with this thing, but you are going to be able to kill them substantially easier. Now, to be able to get the Ash of War, we need to make this work. We need to head into Liurnia, and we're going to have to go all the way up through here and into the Caria Manor. You're going to have to make your way to the Royal Moongazing Grounds. You'll have to defeat the boss to unlock this Site of Grace. But once we do that, we can follow this road along the edge, and we're going to need to sneak back down into the manor to be able to find this NPC, where you can also buy a larval tear if you need one of those, but it'll also have the Ash of War that we need. And there's going to be a spot that we can jump down right here. And then from this spot, we want to go to this edge where thankfully somebody wrote something there. And we want to fall right about here. And then we want to fall down right here. And then right here. Now, it sounds like we're actually going to be encountering this guy when he dies, which is funny because you can either encounter him when he's alive or when he's dead. But regardless of the time, you'll still be able to do this. Since he's dead now, we're just going to loot the ball bearing off of him, and we're going to take it back to the Round Table's hold. Take that bell bearing to the Twin Maidens, and then inside of bell bearing shop 2, you'll see Pity's bell bearing here. And then you'll be able to purchase the Ash of War Carrion Retaliation. Also from the Twin Maidens, you'll want to buy all of the glintstone scraps that you can. You can carry 10 on your person at a time, and you can buy these infinitely. Now, you can also stock up on a lot of these, so that way they will be available every time you rest at your Site of Graces, and it'll restock your inventory with everything that you have saved in your stash. Once you have a shield and the Ash of War, all you're going to do is just go to your shield, and you're going to put the Carrion Retaliation on there, and you can set it to magic, so that way it increases the intelligence scaling. So even if you don't have the Carrion Knight's magic shield, you can still use this, and it'll still be pretty darn effective. So that about does it. Incredibly easy. Take advantage of it while you can before it gets patched. Kill some bosses. Don't use it in PvP, because if you do, you're probably a douche. And I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.